Carlos, in a similar way to how your team maybe could have been beaten by a few more goals on Saturday, your team today could have won by a few more goals. Is that fair?
It is fair because for me, in the previous game we didn't perform well in general, and today the result for me has been fair in terms of the things that we have been watching in the game when we were playing against 11 and when we were playing against 10 players.
I imagine that the satisfying aspect of that performance was that your team were well in control before the red card and that it didn't really swing the game one way or the other, it just, only really intensified.
After you have a negative result, it's important to show reaction. And after a negative result, there are two types of reaction, positive or negative one. The negative one decreases the commitment in the desire of the players. The positive one increases the commitment in the desire of the players. And I saw today a very positive reaction of the team.
You see that from coming back and the recovery on Sunday, and then on Christmas Day itself, the players wanted to put that right.
You never know until you arrive to the pitch, but I know that my group of players are going to take the responsibilities when the thing doesn't work well, and we never want to watch excuses. We are going to watch the things that we can control and to try to do better when we are in the football pitch.
I imagine the one frustration is that your team weren't out of sight, and then you've still needed Alex Palmer to make a very good save at the end there. So that would be one thing you look back on in a few days' time and think, we should have won that 2 or 3-0.
I think I don't need to watch in the next. I have the massive feeling today that to arrive to the last 5-10 minutes of one game, even if you are playing with one player more, you need to increase the goal differences to win the game. If you arrive to the last minutes with a draw, you are going to keep doing exactly the same because the opponent is going to try to defend the point. When you arrive with a goal, 2 goals different, the opponent seems more difficult to change the result. But when you arrive only with one goal difference, then that is the more dangerous result for the last minutes of one game, especially against one team that they can use the set pieces very well and the transitions too. So Norwich is dangerous even when they are with 10 because for me they have a lot of quality in the squad.
How did you think the dynamic changed at half time when David Wagner made a couple of changes? And I think you maybe when you have a red card 5 or 10 minutes before half time, you expect something to maybe happen in terms of a change, but that was quite a dramatic change in the sense that it was 2 centre halves coming on for 2 attack-minded players.
No, I think that they have 2 possibilities. Keep defending 4-4-1-1, but with the lines of 4-4-1 or 4-4-2 that they start the game, we find the way to progress on the pitch. So I think that they have the possibility to one of the wingers help more one of the sides to defend better the sides, or put one player more. And for me, they have made a clever movement, playing with one central back more to concede the crosses and defend well the crosses, and defend with more players to occupy better the width of the pitch. That's why they changed to 5-3-1. When you have all 45 minutes in the second half, you are going to have time to be more aggressive or more brave. And that's what they were doing today.
You made one change and brought John Swift in, and I think because you obviously have versatile players who can play in different positions like Wallace, and having Swift as a natural number 10 and having 2 natural wingers, it just seemed to be a bit more fluidity to your attacks and it seemed a bit slicker, it seemed to move a bit better, do you think?
For me, Swift is an important player for us, and when we don't have our important players, we are going to miss. Especially when at the same time you lose Swift, you lose Phillips, and you lose Maya. Impact our performance possibilities and our competitive possibilities. Now, just with the fact that to have him back is just for me a positive thing, because at least when you start with him, you are going to have 2 players that you can use, 2 attacking players in the bench, 2 very attacking players in the bench. Because in the last games we have been using 1 fullback as a winger because we only had 1 attacking winger in the bench.
That probably was the kind of performance today from Swift where, he's obviously played since that injury at Birmingham, but that felt like that was him pre-injury in terms of performance levels and shows really what your team has missed in that time.
Yes, and especially when we play at home, Swift always held the team. Playing at home, always he achieved positive performances.
Yeah. Can I just ask about Pippa as well, Carlos? He looked like he picked up an injury on Saturday.
Yes. Unfortunately, even Middlesbrough was better than us in the last game, and there is an excuse. we only can see things that we have to improve in the last game. But it's true that the last 10 or 15 minutes when I put Pipa in the pitch, the first tackle that he received, they injured him. And I was asking to do things and he told me that it's impossible for him to move. They badly injured him, and that's why was not today with the team, because he's injured.
Do you know, are you able to tell us a bit more about the injury and like whereabouts it is and how long you might be without him?
Shouldn't be now. He still has pain. Today still he had pain, and we need to see how he reacts from the pain, because it's not a muscle injury. It's just the kick was too aggressive, and his back, he cannot move his back.
Oh, okay. Bartley as well, that was just tactical, wasn't it, today? Bringing Bartley off at that time.
He had a yellow card, and they have in the transition with a quick striker the option to use or to take advantage of the game, because they have, when you play against 10 players, they have two ways for me to can create danger. One situation are the set pieces, one is the set pieces, another is the transition. In these two situations, the numerical advantage doesn't count, or the numerical disadvantage doesn't affect you a lot.
Yes.
In the counter-attack, in the set pieces. And they have very quick and fast strikers. And with the yellow card of Barley, and with this fact, I was thinking that the game was excellent for Semi.
Yes. Just quickly on the substitutions you made, I think you'd have been quite happy with the contributions of players like Shalabara. But at a time when they will have to having to go to try and score and get themselves back into the game, your players that you put on made a difference.
Sometimes you want to make subs and use your all squad, but sometimes you know that it's difficult that sometimes the change can affect positively or are more risk to put players that maybe they don't have in the momentum in the game, and other players are more living what is happening in the game, and it's not easy to go from the bench. That's why, for example, with Philos, I was watching that the game was too physical demanding with a lot of battles in the moment in the game. Before, when we were dominant, was a perfect for him. When we start to lose the control, and in this 50-50 situation, he still have to develop skills to be stronger, and that's why I told you that sometimes it's not easy again to play when you are playing from the bench to adapt to some type of scenarios.
Thank you very much, Carlos.
Hi Carlos. Just on John Swift, do you hope, I know you never know, but do you hope he's over that injury now and he won't have any more problems with the muscle, calf or hamstring?
I didn't want to check him today, and he was asking for the check because still the calf feel fatigue. So still I need to see how he react from the game time.
When he got injured in Birmingham, it was so long ago, wasn't it? It's maybe easy to forget how well he was playing. He scored a great goal that night. He was a match winner, wasn't he, early in the season? He showed when he hit the post in the first half there with a great strike. Just what he can bring to the side in a moment of magic, like that creativity.
He has to be one of our more important attacking players, because that's the role that he has in the team, and that's why he's one of the experienced and important players for us, and that's the contribution that he needs to try to find every single time he's in the pitch.
I always think when he seems confident, he's trying the flicks, and in the second half he tried that chip from the edge of the box, which was nearly magic. When he's playing well, he's trying those amazing things.
When you play against one team that is defending like more in a low block, defending out of the box, the accuracy is the most important thing. Because when you play against teams that they give you space in the back between the keeper and the defenders, the accuracy is not as important, because you are going to have a space to win the ball. But when they are deep and without spaces, in this moment the quality can make the difference. The quality in the cross, the quality in the finishing, the quality in the last pass. And he had, for me, two very good opportunities to score the goal. Unfortunately, we couldn't do it, but after he was helping the team to contribute with a very good contribution to create things, even if not to finish the attack, to create the action that after we were finishing.
It felt like today, almost from the start throughout, that your team were really hungry and aggressive and intense today, willingness to score, create. It might be a simple question, but why are they able to deliver that today when maybe other times they haven't? Obviously, if they did it every game, it would be perfect, wouldn't it?
No, I tell you, you can analyze Middlesbrough won us and they lost today against Rotterdam. That's football. But I cannot tell you that that's football. The competitive consistency is a massive key in the championship. Now we talk about the results, but we don't put context on the result. When we talk about the past, we need to see how many players we have to in these games, how the injury have been affecting to us, because today we're talking about Swift because we have recovered him, but in the previous games, no Maya, no Swift, no Phillips. It's a lot of impact in one game when you are playing, for one team, when you are playing games in a row. A lot of impact. If you add to that Wallace, we were losing Wallace in some games, and even Asante, I remember the game of Sunderland, that Asante, I trained with him in the first 11 the day before, and I couldn't start with him. It was Maya, and unfortunately look what happened with Maya. So, and there are two things. It's not the same, the type of style of the opponent affect the way, the type of game that you are going to play. And play at home is different than to play away. Ideally, the best teams are the ones that are not affected by the opponent and are not affected by the playing home or away. And that's the teams that are going to be in the best position in the table. The other ones, the more affected we are, the more risk to lose good positions, the less affected, the better position you can have in the table.
I thought a word for Alex Palmer because he didn't have a lot to do at all really, and then that save at the end from the header is so important.
Crucial.
Yeah, it's a cliche maybe, but it's a sign of a good goalkeeper where they're not doing anything and then they have to make a big moment.
Yes, because that's why the keepers are players, they need to have a special mind to never lose the concentration in the game, because these type of games can happen that you are 70 minutes without touch one ball and after you need to make a key save.
If I could ask you about Brandon, the match winner with his goal. I don't know if you know, but he scored his 7th championship goal today, 8 in all the competitions. He only got 7 last season, so he's equalled that on Boxing Day, which is a good progress in terms of his goal tally. You know,
No, I think that I wanted to see a reaction from the previous game, because in the previous game I didn't see his real level, and today I saw him competing much better.
His goal as well was a proper striker's goal, you know, on the goal line, scrappy, following it in, and maybe we haven't seen him score enough of those, and maybe he's developing that, hopefully.
Yes, I think that sometimes, depending about the context of the games switch more for some skills of one player or another player. In this type of game, if you have attack, the target striker is very useful, because you are not pressing, you don't have to defend, and you need to hit crosses from the sides. Asante, I think, is one player who can make everything. I think he's one player that have a lot of possibilities, because for me, even if his best massive strength is the heading balls in the box, he can do. He's very dangerous when he has space in the back, but at the end he can help you to link, even if it's not the best strength of him. The competitiveness and the movement in behind is his massive strength. But he's one player that is enough good in every single thing. Important for him is to know which striker he is and play always with the maximum mentality that he needs to play. And today I saw a better mentality from him.
And has it been difficult for him with all the injuries to all the other players? I know he had a little knock, but he's had to play every single game, really, hasn't he? And there's a lot of responsibility on him as a striker to score the goals.
Yes, but I think Asante, he is one player that never feel a pressure to score the goal. Asante have a lot of self-confidence and self-demanding. The key with him is to don't decrease any of both. Because if he starts to have more self-confidence and self-demanding, he will suffer, and he lose the self-confidence too. So always he needs to guarantee that both levels are in the highest level that he can have.
Thanks, Colin.
Thanks everyone. Cheers.